Line spoiler-free reaction. So yeah, I'm gonna start by saying thank you to Disney Books for sending this advanced copy last month, I think. Um, Crimson Climb by E.K. Johnston. Again, this will be a spoiler-free review, or spoiler as much spoiler-free as I can. I'll try not to say anything I shouldn't say. This book comes out officially October 10th. There's no embargo. I'm glad so I can do this review today. I'm kind of surprised that there's not an actual embargo so people can start talking about this. Our spoiler review will come out on our website most likely next Tuesday, October 3rd. October 3rd. So it's 1 week before the book comes out. So if you want to read the spoiler review before the book comes out, or after the book comes out, you read it and you want to hear my spoiler thoughts, go and check it out. But for right now, just spoiler free. I'm very surprised, pleasantly surprised, how much I enjoyed this book by E.K. Johnston. I'm a fan of Qi'ra. I'm a fan of Solo, a Star Wars story. I said one of my most entertaining Star Wars movies, in my opinion. I think it's great. So if you're a fan of Qi'ra, if you're a fan of the Underworld and Syndicates, if you're a fan of Solo, I think this book is for you. It's very character driven. Qi'ra is in every single page of the book. So I'm surprised how much I enjoyed. I didn't know too much about when this story was going to take place. And not a spoiler because as soon as you open the book, you know where it takes place. So this takes place right when she's taken from Han in Coronet Spaceport. So when they pass the little security gate and Revolt pulls her out, this is when this book starts. And she's taken back to the White Worms, to Lady Proxima, to the Scrum Rats, to the sewers. This is that. And I'll say it's a pretty brutal description when she's taken back. Like literally the clothes are ripped from her back, from her body. Clothes, boots, coats, everything gone. So it's very visceral. E.K. Johnston did a great job getting the voice of Qi'ra, getting the voice of all the characters that we know, like Qi'ra, Lady Proxima, Dryden Voss. They all feel like the characters that we know. She made great making Corellia's underworld feel like a character. All the sewers in Corellia, the grime of it, you felt dirty reading those scenes. So I think E.K. Johnston did a great job setting Corellia as that putrid sewer, like Dryden Voss says. So if you know from Solo Star Wars story, the comments that when Han says, "Oh, we're gonna win this," at the end when he has his plan to kind of double cross Dryden, and Kira's like, the point is not winning. The objective is not to win; it's to stay in it as long as possible. How did you get out? I didn't. When Dryden Voss says, "Oh, Han, she's done things that you will never be able to imagine." All that is in this book. So why does she say that the point is to stay in it as long as you can? Why this isn't a game? The things that she does, even though we can kind of see that it's going to be violent stuff, there's a lot of it. So again, she spends a lot of time with the White Worms, with Lady Proxima. Every time I read, I'm like, Qi'ra, why did you leave me? Where's Han? I had that voice in my head. But it's funny because for the Scrum Rats, right, for the people that live on the Corellia kind of slums, the White Worms and Lady Proxima are the most badass, scariest dudes out there, this crime organization. When in reality, they're nothing compared to Crimson Dawn and the other 5 syndicates, right? And we see that as this book progresses, because she won't stay with them forever. As we know, she'll end up with Crimson Dawn at some point. If you read the Solo novelization, you know that she was sold to a slaver, and then eventually something happens and she ends up in Crimson Dawn, and we see that. And again, when she's sold to the slaver, it's not the best life for her, but she resents Han for allowing her to feel safe and comfortable with someone instead of always being on the lookout for what's going on. She got comfortable and safe, believing Han that, okay, we're gonna make it out of here. And she's learned from that. She doesn't hate him. She keeps the dice, and the dice are really important here because it makes her reminds herself of the life that Han might be living now, how he smiles at everything that we know from the movie. Actually, every time I thought about you, it made me smile, and she uses that throughout the book. I forgot where I was going. How these Scrum Rats again? She gets sold, and then when she makes it to Crimson Dawn, she's still playing the field. How's she gonna go up the ladder without showing that she's ready for it? I know it sounds kind of weird, but Qi'ra's in a place when she's learned that she can show all her cards, right? She gets trained in how to fight, of course, Terraskasi, we know that. She's trained how to slice into computers, how to do poison testings, all this, how to scam people. And even though she might be at a level up here, she knows that if she shows that she's learning enough, people will keep trusting her, and not just trusting her, but I forgot the word. I forgot the word. I probably have it in my notes, but I can't find it. Underestimating her. So if she doesn't show that she's as good as Dryden in Terraskasi, she'll be underestimated when she's fighting the guards or when she fights Dryden in solo. So those things she's learned how to, okay, I'm at a level now that I'm ahead of my teachers. We're going to keep it down here so they think that they're still above me. And if they try something, then I'll be able to overcome it. So she's learned this throughout the book. She goes in the book keeps going. There's a lot of missions. She's first in this planet, Thorun, I think it's called, when she has her own team. They come back at the end. Character-wise, like I mentioned before, all the characters that we know, like Qi'ra, Lady Proxima, Dryden Voss, Margot, which we know from the movie, she's the concierge for Dryden Voss in the movie. Here, she's not at that position. So all those characters were great. Hey, Brennan, how you doing? Thanks for being here with us, Brennan. We're just doing a spoiler-free review of Qi'ra. If I keep going, let me see some of your comment. Mr. Spaswall, it's saying that Qi'ra was fascinating in solo. I would have enjoyed a series on her place in the underworld. Might give that book a read after my first ever read of Heir to the Empire. I think if you like that, if you wanted to see what she was doing in the underworld, I know we have the Crimson Reign comic books, and of course she was part of the World Bounty Hunter comic books, and this leads up to that. I mean, we don't see that in the book. There's a couple of interludes in here, and one of them, the last one, is pretty close to that ending. So you can see a lot of that. But if you want to know what she was doing while Han was with the Imperial Navy and trying to get out, this is what she was doing, just climbing the ranks of the White Worms. When she came back, she was at the lowest low, slowly climbing back up. And then same thing, Crimson Dawn. She starts at the bottom and slowly starts moving up. And of course, people don't like how quickly she's moving, and they gotta do their moves to try to get her out of the way. Most of them don't work out. Tony's adding, I really wasn't that excited, but between the Crimson storyline in the comics and this, I can't wait to read it. Again, this is a book that I might not have checked out, but I'm glad that I did. It's a very entertaining. It's very quick. You can read it in a couple of days. Those chapters are short. They're easy to read. They're engaging. You want to know what's going on. So I'll give E.K. Johnson a lot of props on that. Where am I? So again, the rest of the book is her climb through Crimson Dawn's ranks. She's constantly fighting other members that want to be where she was. We see how brutal Dryden Voss can be. We know from the movie. Well, here he just, and like we know from a lot of gangsters out there, they'll just kill someone to make a point. And even though he knows that person he's killing is not the one responsible for whatever, he's going to do it to prove a point. Like, it doesn't matter. So find me the rat, basically, or I'll just keep killing people. Or I'll make Qi'ra kill them, which goes to what he says in the movie. Oh, she's done things that you'll never imagine. We see the paces that she's put on through in this book. And then, of course, from Solo, we know that there's a puppet master behind all the syndicates, which is Maul. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna say how much Maul there is. Is there Maul if he's just insinuated? But there's a benefactor pulling the strings, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. There's a scene with the 5 syndicates. So we get Crimson Dawn, the Pikes, the Huts, and the other 2. I didn't write them here, but you know, all the other crimes, I want to say use some bomb, but they're not. The other 2 syndicates, they're there. So all in all, Crimson Climb, if you like Qi'ra, if you like stories about the underworld, I would recommend it. Check it out as an easy read. Comes out October 10th. Again, thanks to Disney Books for sending us an advance copy. And our full spoiler review will be on our website, wordpress.radiorebellion.com, on Radio Rebellion podcast on Tuesday. I still gotta write it. Actually, hopefully we'll do that this evening or tomorrow. The Qi'ra Don't Molo Malachor, I think that's a spoiler, but I would say the book doesn't get that far. So I don't know if it's happened on the comics. I don't think we've seen that in the comics. But the book doesn't get there. But yes, I would love to see it. I was expecting that this book was going to touch on it, so I'm a bit surprised that it didn't get there. Maybe we'll get a continuation somewhere. Maybe this Lando movie that comes out. We'll see that. All right, guys. So that's it for us today. Great, quick show.